someone at work asked me if it was like Universe, and I thought about it, and I was like, it's almost exactly like Universe. Yeah, we haven't quite finished it yet. We're about to climb up the tower to Shinra Tower. Yeah, so we're it's pretty exciting. There's a lot more side quests. I would say that the mini games are actually playable now. I remember hating the mini games in the original one. Playing back through this game made me realize for a long time, whenever people ask me how I felt about Final Fantasy VII, I was like, it's okay. It's not that great. And I realized playing back through this game that I actually did really truly enjoy playing Final Fantasy VII, but I had such a bad experience with it because I went to the final battle with Sephiroth, and the PC version has a glitch where once you land in the final dungeon, you can't leave, so you can't do anything. And being an idiot child, I only had one save file, so there was absolutely no way for me to do all of the cool stuff that I'd heard about doing, like getting a summon that takes 15 minutes to cast, or, inbreeding chocobos until one's shiny, and then I just...
That's what you consider to be really awesome, Jeremy?
Well, it was to my, 14-year-old mind. I was having a good time. I wanted to do these other things about it, and the only way I was going to be able to do that was to slog another 70 hours through the game. And I was like, no thanks. And it was the first time... I wouldn't say I rage quit. I emo quit. Yeah, and playing through this game, it made me realize how much I really did enjoy this game, how much I really did enjoy these characters. And I'm really, I probably would not have revisited the game unless this had happened. Yeah. Yeah. I do have to say that they did dial back a lot of Cloud Slit Your Wrist emo mode in this version. He's a lot more relatable.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I really, really like the way they've expanded her character in this.
Yeah,
I mean...
She is very horny.
Yeah, I had kind of a similar experience. I've been playing Resident Evil 2, which again was not a game I would have visited at all, but with the remake, I was playing through it. Although, after Mr. X showed up, I got a little stressed out, so I switched to A Hat in Time, which is a little bit less stressful.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, it's
Tobias, I played it at your house. You own that game.
This is very, very standard Jeremy behavior, where you will own a game like the first Resident Evil, never beat it because someone took it and took it with them to college, I'm pretty sure. Or no, you took it to ASMS, because I wanted to go play it, because I was like, great, Jeremy's gone, I have time, and where are all my games? Oh, Jeremy took them to high school with him. Great, guess I can't play those.
Jeremy, you're a monster!
I've been telling you.
You knew that when you married me.
It's one of the reasons I married you.
There were plenty of warning signs.
May I remind you that I was not there for that?
I don't remember that.
I remember it.
And if I had been, then things might have turned out differently.
It was I think
it was all a setup, and that you guys, I passed out in the bed, and you guys just threw up on me, and then blamed it on me.
Yeah. Well, there were several witnesses, including my wife, so there's that. It's just a very bizarre evening.
I know Claire. I know she's a dirty bird.
Because I'm sure I've told you this story before, but at 3 a.m. or something, Chris has gone missing, right? So he's outside somewhere. And then the somebody comes in, and it's not Chris. I'm awake, right? So this guy comes in, and he's like, "Oh, I was just ghost hunting." So he talks to me about ghost hunting for 30 minutes. And I was like,
that's Tobias's brother.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that was Patrick, because Patrick was into ghost hunting at the time.
Right. Yeah. Well, so I didn't know that at the time, Tobias. So and then it turned out that Claire and I were sleeping in his bed. So I'm pretty sure I didn't have a shirt on at this point either. So he's like, "Well, I'll just go away," and he went away. I never saw him again. So, and that was 3:30 in the morning or something at that point. I was like, well, I guess I better get to go to sleep. So then I go to bed, and then I wake up Claire because something loud makes a sound, and I get out of bed and I step on a sword that's unsheathed. I'm like, where am I?
John, you got
going
the full pack house experience in one night.
It's just... And then, Claire got cat scratch fever from that visit as well.
Oh, Jesus.
Or no, that was actually a different visit, I think, where she got cat scratch. But
She
yeah.
visited more than once. Brave girl.
No, it had actually it had to have been that time. Yeah, she got cat scratch fever from one of the kittens. So.
Jesus. I'm not
Oh,
surprised.
and what's his name? Claire still talks about this occasionally. After you passed out, Sean was like, "Hey, Claire, like, let me show you my rats." And proceeded to show her his rats.
Jesus.
Yep, that's a Simeon thing to do for sure.
Yep, yeah.
What?
God, we know the weirdest fucking people.
Yeah, we are the weirdest fucking people.
I mean...
Alright, so Tobias, I
Be
don't know
fair.
how y'all operate at Third Impact, but we have a system here. Okay, so I've got Craig recording as a backup. Okay, you have Audacity on your computer, right? Okay, so go ahead and boot it up and start recording your feed if you haven't been already.
Okay,
I am
the big red button
recording
has
this
been hit.
time.
It's a podcast. I've sent you the link like 300 times.
I didn't know this was going to be on your podcast. Well, anyway, the
Hi.
big red
Yeah,
button has been
That's
hit.
why the name of the Discord I invited to you is the same as the podcast, because it's not actually part of it.
Okay, well, I've got the mics booted up. I'm recording.
Okay, cool.
All right.
You got your Audacity on?
That's
Okay.
what I just said, yes.
You said the mic is booted up.
The mic is booted up. Audacity is recording. Big red button is hit. You just wasted
Okay.
30 seconds of my hard drive space. Congratulations.
Yep, you're welcome. I know you got plenty of room on there.
And now go to time.is.
What?
Time.is. I'll send you a link.
Time.is?
Time.is.
What? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
thanks. I already had a clock on my computer.
Okay, good. So now we're all
It's
looking
not
at
good
the
enough.
exact same clock. Okay? That way,
Okay.
at a specified moment in time, we can all clap at the same time, and that's going to help me when I'm editing sync up our audios.
Why don't you just go 1, 2, 3, clap?
Because we're really bad at that.
Yes.
Well, y'all are white people, so I guess.
So let's do 6,
So,
I
35?
mean...
we can do 6:34, 30.
Okay, 30, right?
30, 30.
3-0.
3, 2...
Hey everyone, Jeremy here. Just wanted to jump in real quick and say thanks again for joining us. Hope you're enjoying this bonus episode so far. We'll be back with a regular episode next week. Just need to take a little bit extra time to get the next episode ready. So hope you're enjoying this. If you like what you're hearing, you can check out our other stuff. We got that all down in the show notes. Definitely check it out. Check out Tobias's other podcast, Third Impact Anime. If you like this sort of chatter that we're doing now, they do a lot of that on that episode. A little bit less banter back and forth, but I think you might enjoy it. They have some really insightful looks into some really good anime shows. I'm going to let you guys get back to it. Short episode, short ad, but we'll be seeing you.
Alright.
Pretty good.
Was that good enough?
Anyone need a redo? I think we're good.
I clapped me, don't me through.
I clapped. I did the thing.
Okay. Alright, Tabitha, you need to get in the roll 20.
What? Am I not in the room?
You're
Hang
not
on.
in roll 20.
I am in roll 20. Let me refresh it.
Okay.
I'm going to switch over my mic to Discord as well, so mine as well. Okay, it's going to sound a little bit different, possibly better.
Oh yeah, that sounds nice.
That sounds good. Nice
Can
and smooth,
I
like
actually-
butter. So,
You can hear
yeah,
me
speaking
gurgle my beer.
of third impacts, I just watched Evangelion 3.33 for the first time.
Oh,
Yeah.
what'd
It's
you
weird,
think?
certainly. Well, I just rewatched all of it. You know, the original series, and then the death, and then 1.1, 2.2, and 3.3.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Just I didn't really like the new character they added in 2, and then they just kind of forgot about her for 3. So made me dislike her more. And nothing kind of made sense or was explained, which is like not entirely outside of Evangelion's milieu, but
Yep. That
just
sounds
seemed like it was weird for being weird, whereas End is like clearly trying to make a point. So
It doesn't succeed, but it's trying.
I think it actually, like, as I was watching it this time, like, I felt like I sort of got where he was going. I mean, he gets there in a weird way, but it's the reiteration of the Hedgehog's dilemma, but just like through killing all of his darlings and all of humanity. So
yeah.
I think the big change is at the end of 2. He decides to sack up and save Ray at the ending. So like starts to diverge from the original timeline. So of course everyone's cheering him on, like, "Great, Shinji, save the day! Be the man everyone's been telling you to be." But whereas you would think that, okay, that's the solution. Stop being Shinji and be Kaji for once. It all falls apart, and all he does is mess everything up even worse. So it's in coming to terms with, I did what I was supposed to do this time. I grew up a bit, but didn't actually resolve anything. And the
yeah,
beginning,
and then
everyone
he literally does it again at the end of the movie, the exact same thing.
yeah.
So demonstrates zero growth for that character, as well as continuing to him being an idiot. So, I mean, which again is in character, but I don't know. I did kind of like Seal getting turned off. That kind of made sense.
I kind of feel like character growth is antipathetic to the whole, like every single character in Evangelion. None of them have any like emotional maturity. None of them ever grow as people. They just keep making the same mistakes and bad decisions all the time. And that's one of the reasons everything's fucked up. Like, I haven't watched it over and over again. Pretty much I only ever watch it when Jeremy makes me. But that, to me, feels like pretty much all of the characters, especially the quote adult characters, like changing for the better or changing really at all is not something they're into.
No. No, I mean they're
much. That's fair. Yeah, they're all stunted. They're all they're all pretty much children as well, because they were still adolescents when everything went down. They've kind of had to live through this whole hellscape that's been created. Yeah,
they're all stunted.
I feel like Asuka has some development throughout the show. It's not positive; it's sort of regressive in a lot of ways. But yeah, she's the only character I feel like really changes too much. Rey, I felt like they were making her kind of change some, like in the movies. With our whole like cooking and whatnot.
Yeah.
Kaiji changes.
Well, I can see.
Who?
Kaiji. He changes from living to dead.
Wow.
Jeremy.
So it's Kaji. Kaiji's the gambling character from a completely different show.
Yeah.
I would watch that show, Kaiji and Evangelion.
Well, anyway, we've got our own show here, right?
Yeah.
Jeremy. Jeremy's very bad at game mastering, Tobias. I'm sure you knew that already.
Oh, I'm quite aware, yeah.
Yeah, not that I would be any better, but
So,
I do like
so
to
Tobias, I'm assuming that you're like most people and haven't, the majority of people on this podcast and haven't actually listened to the podcast, correct?
What podcast?
Exactly. Okay. So,
why would we listen to the podcast, Jeremy?
Man, I don't listen to my podcast.
I always found it weird when, like, in Mabim Bam and Adventure Zone, they'd be like, "Yes, like I re-listened to the thing." Like, I'm like, why? Don't you remember?
Okay, so for Mabim Bam, it kind of makes sense because they've got thousands of episodes from all these different shows. And I'm sure it's hard to remember stuff. So there I could understand going back and revisiting. But our body of work is just not quite that large.
And not, Jeremy, that we don't appreciate you editing it and putting it out there. But I mean...
But I mean, we don't.
And we also don't make our living off of it. So if we forget stuff, it's okay.
Tobias, the only Delta Green you've really played is that one playtest that we did together, right?
Jeremy, you sort of went out, so I don't think he understood if you were asking a question.
I heard, but I was bounced. if you look at my webcam at Roll20, the app that we're using, you would have seen me not there.
You remember I'm in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, North Carolina, with shit-ass internet.
I also, I am
Nashville
not
is
in that
not
situation,
bumfuck
but I also
Carolina.
don't see live video in Roll20, so I don't think you actually have that on.
Well, we probably have it turned off,
Tobias.
because I turn off all of that stuff to help save the bandwidth, because I got 2 people.
Okay, well, I will turn that off
running
too.
Tobias.
Oh, actually, yeah. I actually have it set to receive nothing. So even if you were broadcasting video, I wouldn't have seen it. Yeah, Jeremy, that's what you should. You should say this so you can't receive it, and then we can broadcast it and like have a back channel of like looks and stuff.
Well, if
Sending
in Discord, if we had we discovered that in Discord you have to use a PM basically to do like conference calls or like video conference calls. You can't do it in a server like this. So that would probably be more efficient, as Roll20 is terrible handling that.
Yeah.
But I mean, whatever. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal.
Yeah.
Tobias, remember that we're not in Asheville proper either. We're in Fletcher.
You really want to share that with the internet?
Jeremy, edit that out.
Nope.
Who cares?
I'm done editing.
Well, actually, I just thought like.
Someone's gonna show up and be like, "Asuka does grow, you people."
Actually,
Toji has a amazing, beautiful arc in Evangelion. It's not just that he's sad his sister's hurt.
Something's loading. Somebody's just drawing boxes.
The fuck is happening?
Tabitha?
I'm not doing this.
I know someone who has the history of drawing boxes.
What are you talking about?
A history of drawing boxes?
Yeah.
The fuck?
So since I listen to these episodes over and over again while I'm editing them, I know that this is not the first time that John has drawn boxes all over the map.
It's hardly a map, Jeremy. It's a picture of all of us.
It's a homepage.
I bought myself an astronaut. I did nothing about that.
That's fine. I'm not. If you ever have a question, definitely ask me, because I'm more than happy to educate you what I know. And Tabitha's more than happy to Wikipedia search anything I don't know.
Preview on. Yeah, sending veteran spacewalker there.
Yep, I've got 5,000 carrier landings under my belt.
In Kerbal Space Program.
I have never successfully played that game. I mean, I've successfully played it. I've never successfully
opened it up.
I've never successfully achieved a goal that I set out to perform in that game.
I thought you meant have it. Go to bed, Oliver.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
Stop crying,
Okay,
Oliver.